Why do some people walk into a room and instantly command respect without saying a single word, while others talk louder, smile more, work harder, yet remain invisible? The answer has nothing to do with confidence or charisma. It has everything to do with understanding one uncomfortable truth. Human beings don't respect kindness first. They respect strength. And Niccolò Machiavelli understood this centuries before modern psychology ever existed. Today, you'll discover 15 rules that powerful people use, whether they realize it or not, to earn respect almost instantly. Some of these rules will challenge everything you've been taught. Others may expose the very reason people have been overlooking you your entire life. But be warned, these rules are not about manipulation. They're about understanding human nature and refusing to become its victim. Let's begin. Rule 1. Never reveal all of yourself. Most people believe honesty means complete transparency, so they explain everything, their plans, their fears, their next move, their weaknesses. And without realizing it, they hand away their greatest advantage. Machiavelli understood something timeless. Predictable people are controllable people. The more people know about your intentions, the easier it becomes to influence your decisions, question your confidence, or work against you. Notice how respected leaders rarely reveal every thought crossing their minds. Not because they're dishonest, because mystery creates authority. When people can't completely read you, they naturally pay closer attention. Mystery creates curiosity. Curiosity creates respect. That doesn't mean becoming secretive. It means becoming selective. Speak with purpose, not impulse. Because every unnecessary explanation reduces your power. Rule 2. Master the art of silence. Most people fear silence. The moment a conversation becomes quiet, they rush to fill the space. They explain, they justify, they apologize. But silence has a strange effect on the human mind. It creates tension, and people instinctively try to relieve that tension, usually by talking. The person who speaks less learns more. The person who listens longer controls the conversation. Watch experienced negotiators, powerful CEOs, elite interrogators. They don't interrupt, they wait. Eventually, the other person reveals far more than they intended. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is discipline, and discipline commands respect. But speaking less means nothing if your emotions still betray you, because the next rule determines whether people see you as composed or easy to manipulate. And once you understand it, you'll never react to criticism the same way again. Master your emotions. Before someone else does nothing exposes weakness faster than uncontrolled emotion, an insult, a disagreement, a moment of disrespect. And suddenly, your voice becomes louder, your breathing changes, your judgment disappears. At that moment, your opponent no longer controls the conversation. They control you. Machiavelli understood that the greatest victories are won long before swords are ever drawn. They're won inside the mind. The person who cannot control his emotions will always become a prisoner of someone else's strategy. Think about the people you've admired most: the respected boss, the feared leader, the disciplined athlete. Were they impulsive or were they calm? Even under pressure, emotional control doesn't mean becoming cold. It means refusing to let another person dictate your behavior. Because the moment someone realizes they can provoke you, they've discovered your weakness. Power begins. When your emotions become your servants instead of your master. Rule 4. Never chase respect. One of the strangest truths about human nature is this: the harder you chase respect, the faster it runs away. People who constantly seek validation usually receive the least. Why? Because neediness communicates dependence, and dependence rarely inspires admiration. Imagine two men entering a room. One desperately tries to impress everyone. He laughs too hard, talks too much, agrees with every opinion. The other simply observes. He speaks only when necessary. He doesn't compete for attention. Ironically, everyone notices him first. Respect cannot be begged for. It must be demonstrated. The less you crave approval, the more valuable your presence becomes. Because confidence isn't announcing your worth. Confidence is acting as though your worth never required permission. Rule 5. Become comfortable walking away. This may be the most powerful negotiation strategy you'll ever learn. The person with the greatest power is often the person who can leave. Whether it's a toxic friendship, an unfair job, a one-sided relationship, or a bad business deal, the willingness to walk away changes everything. Why? Because it proves something priceless. You are not controlled by fear. Most people tolerate disrespect, not because they deserve it, but because they're afraid of losing what they have. Machiavelli understood that fear creates chains stronger than iron. The moment people realize you cannot be trapped, they begin treating you differently, not because you've threatened them, because you've shown you have options. Freedom commands respect. Rule 6. Make your actions speak louder than your promises. Anyone can promise greatness. Anyone can talk about ambition. Anyone can say, "I'm going to change my life." Very few actually do. Human beings don't judge you by your intentions. They judge you by patterns. If you consistently say one thing and do another, your words become worthless. Eventually, people stop listening altogether. Machiavelli believed reputation is built slowly and destroyed quickly. Every action either strengthens your image or weakens it. This is why powerful people rarely overpromise. They allow results to create the conversation. Because results don't argue, they don't convince, they simply exist. And over time, nothing earns respect faster than becoming someone whose actions are impossible to ignore. By now, you've learned how to control yourself, but controlling yourself is only half the battle. The truly respected understand something even more dangerous: how human nature works. Because the next rules reveal why powerful people rarely explain themselves, why mystery creates influence, and why one simple habit silently tells the world whether you deserve respect or will spend your life asking for it. Rule 7. Never explain yourself excessively. One of the quickest ways to lose authority is by constantly defending your decisions. Most people believe the more they explain, the more they'll be understood. The opposite is often true. Every unnecessary explanation sends a hidden message. I need your approval. Powerful people don't refuse to communicate. They simply refuse to justify every action they take. Machiavelli observed that rulers who constantly defended themselves appeared uncertain, while those who acted with quiet conviction appeared decisive. Think about the people you naturally respect. Do they apologize for every decision, or do they accept that not everyone will understand them? There is a difference between clarity and justification. Speak when explanation creates understanding. Remain silent when explanation is simply an attempt to earn acceptance. Because respect follows certainty, not endless persuasion. Rule 8. Guard your reputation like your life depends on it. Money can be lost and earned again. Power can rise and fall. But reputation is far more difficult to rebuild. Long before people experience your character, they experience your reputation. It's the invisible introduction that enters every room before you do. Machiavelli understood this better than most. A strong reputation discourages challenges before they begin. A weak reputation invites them. This doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. It means living consistently enough that your actions speak for you. Keep your promises, stand by your principles, finish what you start, because every decision is another brick in the image people build of you. Eventually, your reputation begins opening doors, long before you ever knock. Rule 9. Become difficult to predict. Predictability creates comfort, but it rarely creates respect. When people believe they've completely figured you out, they stop paying attention. Your reactions become expected. Your behavior becomes ordinary. And ordinary people are easily overlooked. Machiavelli never encouraged chaos. He encouraged strategic unpredictability. Sometimes speak, sometimes observe, sometimes respond immediately. Sometimes don't respond at all. The goal isn't to confuse people. The goal is to prevent them from believing they can control you, because uncertainty forces attention. Attention creates caution, and caution often becomes respect. Rule 10. Choose your battles carefully. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every criticism deserves your energy. Not every disagreement deserves your attention. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing they must win every argument. In reality, every unnecessary battle drains influence. Powerful people understand attention is a limited resource, so they invest it wisely. Imagine a king. Would he leave his throne to argue with every citizen who questioned him? Of course not. His position alone answers the question. The strongest people don't react to every challenge. They evaluate it. Sometimes the greatest display of strength is deciding that something isn't worthy of your response. Because true power doesn't need to prove itself every day. At this point, you've learned how respected people think. But the final 5 rules: separate ordinary influence from lasting authority. These are the principles that shape unforgettable leaders, create silent dominance, and ensure that even after you've left the room, your presence is still felt. The final rule may be the most important lesson Machiavelli ever taught. Rule 11. Never depend on one source of power. The fastest way to lose respect is to become dependent on one person, one opportunity, one paycheck, one relationship. The moment your survival depends on someone else's decisions, you surrender leverage. Machiavelli understood that true power belongs to those who always have options. The respected employee can leave. The respected entrepreneur has multiple opportunities. The respected leader never builds his future on a single foundation. Freedom creates confidence. Confidence creates composure, and composure commands respect. The less people believe they can trap you, the more carefully they'll treat you. Rule 12. Control your reputation. Before others, people are constantly telling stories about you. The only question is, are you writing those stories, or are they? Every action, every promise, every excuse becomes part of your reputation, and reputation spreads faster than truth. Machiavelli believed perception shapes reality, because people rarely respond to who you truly are. They respond to who they believe you are. That's why consistency matters. Be dependable. Be disciplined. Keep your word. Eventually, your reputation begins speaking before you ever enter the room, and when that happens, respect follows naturally. Rule 13. Protect your time. Like a king protects his kingdom, most people waste the most valuable resource they'll ever possess. Not money. Time. Money can return. Time never does. Every unnecessary meeting, every pointless argument, every hour spent chasing approval is time stolen from your future. Powerful people understand that saying no is not selfish. It's strategic. Every yes has a hidden cost. Every commitment removes time from something else. The people who command the most respect rarely appear busy. They appear intentional because they choose what deserves their attention and ignore everything that doesn't. Rule 14. Let people underestimate you. Ego loves recognition. Wisdom prefers surprise. Many people feel the need to announce every goal, every achievement, every plan. But public declarations create expectations, and expectations create pressure. Machiavelli advised rulers to reveal their strength only when necessary. Imagine preparing for a chess match. Would you explain your strategy before making your first move? Of course not. Sometimes silence is the greatest disguise. When people underestimate you, they lower their guard. They become careless. That's when preparation quietly defeats confidence. You don't need to convince people you're powerful. Eventually, your results will do it for you. Rule 15. Respect yourself first. Every rule you've heard today leads back to one truth. The world often treats you the way you teach it to. If you constantly tolerate disrespect, people assume it's acceptable. If you never defend your boundaries, people stop looking for them. If you sacrifice your principles for temporary approval, people begin valuing you less than you value yourself. Machiavelli never claimed that power begins with controlling others. It begins with mastering yourself. The person who respects his own time commands the respect of others. The person who honors his own standards raises everyone else's expectations. The person who can walk away can never truly be controlled. And perhaps that is the greatest form of power anyone can possess. These 15 rules are not weapons. They are mirrors. They reveal uncomfortable truths about human nature and about ourselves. You don't have to manipulate people to earn respect. You simply have to stop giving your power away. Speak less. Observe more. Control your emotions. Protect your time. Guard your reputation. Stand by your principles. And most importantly, respect yourself before asking the world to do the same. Because in the end, people rarely remember the loudest voice in the room. They remember the one whose presence made everyone else think twice. If you found value in these principles, subscribe for more insights into strategy, psychology, and timeless wisdom. The next lesson may change the way you see power forever.